took me 10 years to build a company that get international clients, and this month we just reached our first $20,000 a month revenue from global clients. 10 years. That was such a long time to finally reach the dream that I've always dreamt of since very, very young. But what if I told you that you don't have to take that long? Today, I'm going to share the 10 hard-earned lessons that cost me years of trial and error, countless failures, and honestly a lot of money. These are the exact strategy that finally cracked the code for me of building a global business. Whether you're manufacturing products, offering services, or building a tech company looking to go global, this video hopefully will save you years of wasted time. So if you're serious about taking your business international, stay until the end because lesson number 9 about trade show will completely change how you think about marketing. Quick context, I have started and run about 6 businesses, built my own, run my own family business, as well as other people's startup. The first business that I started with my parents was at 10 years old. So I have experience with a lot of different models, service, and offering. And the one that's currently working right now is a consultancy that help brands to navigate cross-border e-commerce, setup, and logistics. So I've gone through this journey myself, but also my clients are a company that want to export, want to sell overseas, either traditional ways or now with cross-border e-commerce. So I've seen a lot of mistakes been made over and over again. These are the lessons that are built by real blood, sweat, and tears, both mine and my clients. Before we start, if you find value in this video, make sure to follow this channel. I share deep dive content about international business, growing your business globally and sustainably. Alright, let's jump into lesson number 1. You need strong domestic foundations before going internationally. Going internationally is like starting a startup from scratch again. It's liberating, but it's also take a lot to start over. You don't have the leverage of your existing domestic knowledge, presence, and network. Here's the reality. It took me 10 years to find the right partners, the right market to start selling overseas. The reason why it took us so long is because during that time, there were some cash flow issues from the current business that make us impossible to follow through. And we keep having to put this growing internationally projects at the back of the pedal. You do need a healthy cash flow. And why? It's because international expansion is expensive, slow. Yes, you maybe can sell 1 to about like 6 months, 10 months. But if you want to sell well, consistently, it will take at least 2, 3 to 5 years minimum of building before you see anything come out of it sustainably. If your business right now is barely surviving, go internationally might not be the answer to keep it run. You need to find a way to make the current model cash flow positive and healthy for your own sake. And if you think that your business is potential, you can also find a cash flow through fundraising, not necessarily using your own money. Lesson number 2, finding distributors takes years. This one hurt a lot. When we start looking about international markets, we were looking at 2 countries. One is the Philippines and one is Singapore. So here's the story about the Philippines market. We were working with this partner in different ventures and model, and we were connected really, really well. And for us, we really, really want to work with them, the same partner, for this new venture. And the reason for that is because both of us are family businesses. I run mine and my partner runs hers, and our parents were the one working with each other. So this is like a relationship that has lasted for decades. So it's very easy to be like, okay, let's work on something else. It actually took us 3 years to just convincing them to finally get on board. And eventually the venture died out because our value was not aligned and there are other priorities that shift our focus. Now, the lesson for that specific story is we were trying to make it work with a partner, but you actually need someone that already have the aligned value of what you offer. Maybe you need someone that already have the existing network and serving the same clients that you want to target. Because good relationship without similar goals and value will eventually fall out either way because both of you don't see it's worth the effort. It was painful to walk away from that market. The second market that we were looking at is Singapore. Now, for Singapore, we actually have a great partnership where the current partner that we work with, they are the one that present us in the market. They share our service to their clientele, and they just basically bring in most of the revenue for our Singapore market. We have a great partnership now. And the reason why it works is because both of us were serving the same clientele in our separate country. When it comes to collaborating, it's very easy for them to upselling their existing clients to use our service without having to invest in resource to build the service offering themselves. That's what makes it successful. But it does take us 5 years of persisting follow-up to make it work, because this is a big corporation. I have to talk with many different departments, many different PIC over the course of 5 years to eventually get a nod to collaborating with them. And it was really on their own term when they felt like this is the right strategy, this is the right offering for them to do it. Here's what nobody tells you. Even if it's a dream distributors, they have times and resources on so many different things that if you're not making it worth their time, either by your service quality, something that they cannot do it themselves, or by the brand, it takes a long time for them to onboard. And that is why most traditional import-export distribution dream can take at least 6 months to 12 months to hash out a deal. At least to the next lesson that I'm gonna tell you really soon. But for this particular lesson, my advice for you is that start conversation with potential partners now. Find people that serving the same clientele that you are doing at your local market and see how do you guys come together, have some synergies together to serve these clients better. Your partner will have more incentive to sell the products for you if it takes less effort for them. So it really took 5 years to us to finally see some progress out of this partnership. That makes me wonder, can I do it by myself? Can I find clients by myself without relying on the local distributors to bring us into the market? And that leads us to lesson number 3, build your digital footprint. Let's reverse engineer how we gonna get a sales. First, somebody hear about you somewhere, either because they have a need, they look up something and it pops up, or somebody tell them about it. That in marketing is called top of the funnel. Next, once they hear about it and when they have a need, what they do next? They will research who are the service provider or who are the vendors out there gonna provide this service. And this is where your digital trail will become very useful, because they can see if you have any reliable information online that they can cross-check independently. Are you associated with any big brand? Are you covered international news? Are you somebody that are known outside of your own website? This is like due diligence, right? You need to research who you are using before you pay money. Then after that, once they gather all the information, either with cost, with service, with value, depending on what your service is, then they finally make a purchase decisions. And this is where the conversions happen, either with B2B like us, is through calls, through webinars, we bring people on board and get to engage with us and see our energy, or 2 is through your ads. Once they have all these informations about you, when they really have a need and your ads pop up on their feed, then that's when they decide to close. That is the whole process of purchase something. When somebody discover your company through an ad or a referral, what's the first thing they're gonna do? They're gonna Google you. And if they find nothing, or worse, if they find a sketchy website, you've lost them. So that's why in the next stage of our international market building, we look into how to get features on international media like BBC or Channel News Asia. We look into creating consistent content on LinkedIn and YouTube like what you're seeing right now. And we're looking into optimizing for ChatGPT and AI, where things get recommended. When our websites start getting tractions and coverage from Latin America, from Central Asia, etc., what I notice is that when the customer look me up, they send an inquiry, they get an email from me, and they will look me up on Google or LinkedIn. And I know that after they look me up on LinkedIn is when they decide to close and go with my service. Make your digital trail happen. You don't really need to go to international media like BBC to create credibility. What you need is an update and professional website where people can easily look up what you do. Active social media, showing you are a real company or a real human behind that company. Make sure there are customer testimonials and case study where people can look it up. And you need to have regular content to demonstrate expertise. Your digital presence is your 24/7 salesperson. And that leads to lesson number 4. Should you focus on personal brand or company brand? When I was reverse engineering and have come to the conclusion that I need to put on a digital trail, I was faced with a dilemma. Should I focus on building me personally as the person behind the business, or should I focus on growing on a company side? And lesson number 4 I came out is when your brand is young, build the founder brands is faster than building a company brand. Nowadays, people connect to stories. People connect human to human. They're afraid of AI content. If you hide behind company content, most people would think that it's just another brand, just another big corporate trying to get their money. But if you are able to put out the founder stories, a lot of the trend like build in public, especially that, right? You just focusing on sharing your journey as a founder. People connect to that and people really see who you are. Even when B2B business, personal brand builds trust faster than corporate brands. And people connect with human, not logos. My personal LinkedIn became our most powerful sales tool. I share insight, lesson, behind the scenes story. I connect with people, comment on other people's posts. And when prospect research us, they find a real person with real expertise. People tell me that they were looking for an expert on XYZ. What they do is they go on LinkedIn, look it up on those keywords, and found my profile. Start posting. Share your journey. Make sure you have some keyword related to the products you're selling. Be visible. Your personal brand is the rocket fuel for your young company. Now the next lesson is what a lot of people ask me when they need an advice for their products. Can my product sell overseas? That's something that a lot of my clients come and ask me that questions. Lesson number 5, for growing your business internationally, design your products to be global from day one. If you aspire to sell your product internationally, have that plan in the beginning. It is easier to build a product with the international global mindset and features than already making products and trying to marry it into a market. If you are a manufacturer, what you have is manufacturing capabilities. Maybe the products that you are creating in the local market is not going to be the winning ones selling overseas. But because you own the entire production process, you can easily pivot or iterate the versions that can cater to a new market. The second, if you're selling a physical product, accept international orders from day one. My first venture when I was 10 years old was a aquarium shop online where people can buy equipment, even live fish for their aquarium at home. We started getting international orders all the way in Germany for fishes going from Vietnam to Germany. You won't know what kind of doors is gonna open when you start accepting international clients. Start posting and have a link of international shipping on your page, on your business right now. And when there's an order come in, figure out how to ship it later. Nowadays, with how connected the global shipping industry, you can easily ship a product through your postal office to anywhere in the world. How do we make sure that our product is global from day one? Lesson number 6, travel to your target markets. If you want to sell to a country, travel there. That's my simplest answer for you. You cannot guess what other people need. You might have a feeling, but there's nothing being on the ground and really see how the people in that market that you want to sell to live. Whenever I go travel internationally, these are the 3 places I will go. Number one, supermarkets or convenience store. This place is gonna show you the consumer preference. For example, if you go to a 7-Eleven in the US, you won't find any like fast one serving meal, whole food meal. Whereas if you go into a 7-Elevens in Japan or even in Vietnam, you see there's a lot of reheatable meal that they sell in 7-Elevens. Go into these places and see how people interact, consume their products in everyday life. The second place is technology market or electronics store. This is where it will review you how quickly they adopt new products. For example, if you go to Singapore, you'll find most electronic stores have iPhone 17 right now. But if you go to an electronic store in Japan, you will also find the latest technology products there, but you will also find the most old school one like a cassette player, a CD player, all those like technologies products back in the 90s. And that tells us that even though they embrace new changes, they also love the way how things work, and if things don't break, they won't fix it. The third place that you can also check out and tell you a lot is the public transportations. MRT, bus, or even car, taxi. It tells you how fast things are moved, the people patience with regards of shippings, and people spending power. Sometimes you have a dream market that you want to sell to, like for example the US, right, or like Canada, or like Japan. I really encourage you to go there. Invest in your own learning to get these insights. And that will already set you apart from many others competitors selling the same thing. Lesson number 7. For international sales, proactively hunt for customer. In sales, there are 2 ways for you to find customer. Number 1, you sit here and you wait for someone to find you, right? That could be setting up a store and wait for someone to find you, or setting up a website and wait for someone to discover you through their search, etc. The second way is proactively hunt for customer. Look for potential clients, go where they might be hanging out, and actually asking them, hey, do you need this specific service? Because that's what we can do. How do we reach out to people and ask if they need us on an international scale? Here's our playbook. Number 1, email marketing and LinkedIn outreach are the 2 main tools that I will use to reach out to people. What we'll use for email marketing is purchase data exhibitors in different trade shows that fit with our ideal customer profile, and basically contact them through emails introducing our services. They might not need us now, but we're now presented in front of them. What I do in those emails is basically link a little bit of my LinkedIn profile there so that I actually can click on it and see who I am, what our company, etc. The 3 tools that we recommend you to do these like outreach is Nuff.io, Apollo, or LinkedIn Sales Navigator. For us, we use the first 2. For LinkedIn, we have a quite unique LinkedIn approach that actually was able to get me about like 1 million views on LinkedIn, as well as a lot of interview invitations from international media, newspaper channels through LinkedIn. If you would like to see the specific strategy I use for LinkedIn, let me know and I'll make a separate video for that. Lesson number 8, diversify your partners. If you are selling overseas and one customer is generating about like 70 or 80% of your revenue, you need to diversify. I have a friend who manufactures shoes to Europe through one partner, and they're telling me right now their distributor is about to retire. So what's gonna happen to my friend? Her business will most likely won't able to get that client anymore because that one person retired. My parents have been in business for the past 30 years. The partners that they worked originally 30 years ago are not the same one they're still working on right now. Some because their partners retired, some because the companies got acquired, new leadership come up with a new strategy, or sometimes the second generations come up and that second generations have friends that they would like to give business to. If you have all your eggs in one partner or customer, you're risking losing your entire business because of one person. If you already get a few customers internationally, do not stop at 1 or 2 customers. If you're already cracking the code, able to sell to that specific market, that means there are demands. That means you should grow more. You should try to diversify it, a different channel, so that you don't rely on that specific customer only. And that leads us to lesson number 9, trade shows offer trust and not sales. How are you gonna find more customer besides that one specific partner that you're lucky to find? You do outreach marketing like I just said, or more traditional way, and if you have a budget, is going to trade show. If you have a budget about 10 to 15K for an event, then you should use that budget to go to trade show. And here's what most people get wrong when it comes to trade show. A lot of small business or first-time exhibitor would tell me that they would do once on exhibitions and they will stop doing it because they wouldn't able to close sales on the spot. And they recognize that 10-15K is lost. Here's what most people get wrong about trade show. This is where you build trust that can last long term. And it's mostly to meet with people and have that human connections before doing business. People who already knew you before the trade show will be more likely to convert than the people who meet you at the trade show for the first time. We just went to our first trade shows in April, and up until now, 6 months later, we're still getting inquiries of people who met us there that didn't need us then but need us now. We also get inquiries from people that say, hey, we looked you up online, we found you, and our colleagues said that they met you at the trade show, and that's why you're getting this contract. So trade show is more of building trust that will able to lead you into long-term connection and business. The investment will most likely to pay out in 4 to 6 or even 12 months later, not on day one. And if you understand this, you won't get discouraged because you're playing the long game. What we do before we go on the trade show actually is that we run marketing campaigns before the event happens. We would actually, when we receive the exhibitors list, what we'll do is that we start looking them up on our email marketing tool. We start looking them up on LinkedIn and start writing to them, connecting, request them, and ask for meetings at the trade show. And by doing this, you're creating awareness that you're there so that your time within 2-3 days there become more effective and productive. And one of the key reasons why trade show would also build a lot of trust because you're the one that willing to drop 10, 15K or 50K for this kind of event. That's already signaling trust for serious buyers out there. What if you don't want to find distributors and you want to really just use your own resource to win and sell internationally? And that leads us to lesson number 10. E-commerce and social media is the future. E-commerce platform plus social media platform is going to be the export trend for the next decade. Meta and YouTube are now integrating products linked directly to the content. That means that now when you go on a YouTube video, you will have a buy this product button right down here. So you can click and start buying those kind of products. And that will lead to the biggest export opportunities for physical products. If you can utilize e-commerce platform plus social media, you're not only getting the B2C revenue of your own brand, you get an asset, a brand that people would buy from so that when tariff change, conditions happen, distributions retire, all of those issues, you will still have people willing to buy your products. You also will gain a B2B sample distribution channel. Because you already have the products in a warehouse close to those countries, that means potential B2B buyers can easily sample your products through e-commerce platform. They are the one that actually testing new suppliers through e-commerce to check if you're qualified or good. I attended a Amazon sellers events for sellers that crossing about 1 million to 5 million minimum in revenue. An insight that they tell each other is that you actually not only getting Amazon sales, but you also getting a lot of B2B buying inquiries thanks to their Amazon storefront. And that is why if you have a physical product, you still should look into platform. I know that there are so many news out there talking about how high the fee are on these channels. Use that as a strategic channels to create awareness, to get distributions, so that you can eventually diversify and have your own source of recurrent customer. The barriers to international sales are disappearing. The question is, are you ready? Here's a recap. 10 lessons that took me a decade to learn, and I hope it will shorten your time to go global with your business. 1. Build domestic strength first. 2. Partner hunting takes years, so start now. 3. Create digital trail. 4. Personal brand accelerate trust. 5. Design for global from day one. It's easier than trying to marry your product into a market. 6. Travel to understand markets. Invest in your own learning. Invest for your own insight. 7. Proactive B2B outbound sales. 8. Diversify your partnership. Don't rely on one to have most of your income from it. 9. Trade show build trust, but not instant sell. Use strategically. And 10. E-commerce plus social is the future. If you have a physical product, you should definitely start taking international orders and trying to figure out either selling directly to your website or through these e-commerce platforms. Choose your strategy, but just start shipping. If you find this video helpful, you can really help us by following these channels. I'm here to share a lot of my real actionable strategies for building international businesses. Which lesson hit home for you? Or what's your biggest challenge for international expansions? I read every comment and I'll respond with a specific advice just for you. If you're serious about going global, check out my other videos talking about how to ship products internationally, where I dive deeper into specific tactics for your company. Remember, it took me 10 years, but it doesn't have to take you that long to start going global. Learn from my mistake, move faster, build bigger. See you in the next video.